This is a land of dreams and madness. Children's stories come to life.
Hello there. Welcome to, I guess, just Skeleton Crew discussion, because I didn't think of a title or anything for it. This was an impromptu decision led by Mr. OuterRim Transmissions right below me. We just wanted to kind of get together and get a couple different creators and people from the Star Wars community in here so we could talk about Skeleton Crew. So what's everybody's, I guess we'll go, in a line starting with Dazy and then following after. What was everybody's thoughts on the first two episodes?
Well, it definitely surprised me just because I was hearing all these people say online that, it was going to be like the Goonies and Stranger Things, and I'm not going to lie, I wasn't really into those two. I wasn't really into Stranger Things, so I was getting really disappointed. I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna like it. I probably shouldn't watch it." But then I saw that Hannah from the race. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn my phone off. Hannah from the race side was doing a watch party, and I thought, well, I'll watch it with everyone else. And oh my God, I loved it so much. It just drew me in as soon as I started watching it. And I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next.
Dude, that's awesome. Cam, what are your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I got to go to a free screening of it in Nashville, put on by Fandango, so I got to see it in a theater.
So we got Mr. Celebrity over here.
Oh yeah. But I mean, going into it, I wasn't sure how I felt about the show. I mean, it seemed interesting, but I was worried about it being really earthy, which the first episode did kind of feel like that, but
I agree.
it still at least drew you back into the, feeling Star Warsy. So it wasn't all earthy. So I was a bit skeptical of the show going into it, but afterwards, I think it might be something I'll really enjoy. I'm excited to see where it'll go. I like the characters so far. I'm always hesitant about child actors. They can be hit or miss a lot of the times. So
I think these ones are kind of nailing it.
They would just be bad actors and just get on my nerves, but they actually did a really great job. And so I'm excited to see how their characters, develop throughout the show. So I'm excited to see where it'll go.
Yeah, man. I gotta agree. The at Atten, it's a little too earthy. Like, I wish they would have had the cars like actually in the sky, like in Attack of the Clones and everything else.
I thought that too.
But
that surprised me. It surprised me to see like that the cars were just like normal cars. I expected to see something like,
Dazy,
in the air.
Freaking the show before this one, I don't even like saying the show's name. They had two Jedi actually, using metal detectors to try to find a Virgins in the Force. So
what?
Yeah, exactly.
Metal just
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Yeah, spare yourself. Yeah, you're really not.
Only watch the fight scenes. That's it.
That's all the good stuff. That's it.
The only good stuff is the fight scenes. I will have to agree.
But Mr. OuterRim Transmissions, what was your thoughts? Because this was your whole operation was your whole idea.
Yeah, my thoughts were, I can't believe I'm actually excited to want to talk about a recent Star Wars show. That's kind of where this stems from, where just like with Dazy, like not really sure what to expect. My expectations were low going into it. I mean, we've heard some of the rumors and stuff. I mean, the show probably should have came out this time last year. was delayed. That usually doesn't mean good things. But then, yeah, seeing what everyone was saying about it, Goonies, 80s vibe, coming of age story, kind of that Spielberg feel. I was born in 97, so I've seen those movies and I like them. They're good when I was like a kid, but not what I always pictured for a Star Wars story. I know we have influences from them, but this one was going to be heavy-handed, coming of age 80s kid story. And I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And somehow I actually really enjoyed a lot of it. I do really enjoy the characters so far, the actors. They're already off of At-Atten, but my favorite stuff with At-Atten is there's this whole mystery behind it, somehow tied to the Old Republic era. I think it's a unique planet. I mean, I'm happy not every planet is like it, but there's something to it that I think can lead into other great parts of the lore that are, I think, when we talk about them today, will be really interesting to dive in on some theory crafting.
Oh, heck yeah. Sean, what's your thoughts?
Well, when they said it was going to be like Goonies and Stranger Things, first of all, I grew up while I watched the Goonies. I haven't watched it though in like multiple years. I've only seen season 1 of Stranger Things, so I can kind of feel that vibe in the show. And I do like it because, as you guys said, it's very like nothing is breaking lore. It's like a kid show, Goonies, Stranger Things vibes, and it's better than Acolyte.
He said,
I think anything's better than Acolyte.
Yeah.
I will say this too. I'd rather watch Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker than the Acolyte again.
I'd rather watch the
Ouch.
holiday special for the 4th time.
Get out! Oh man. OuterRim, you was about to say something. I saw a little circle thing around your
I was just laughing.
oh. Mr. Galactic Cantina.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
I like it so far. I mean, I didn't go in with too big expectation, but I think it's like a lighthearted, nice thing, and it's something new, but still a lot of Star Wars with all the creatures, and especially like the first scene. It reminded me of A New Hope when they docked into the ship. Yeah, it's not Acolyte.
I'm getting the consensus that we're all like on the same page.
Yeah, and I really like those old like 80s Goonies type of movies as well. I grew up on them.
Heck yeah, man. Freaking, I think what took me by surprise was the fact that I had very, very low. I pretty much had no expectations for this show. I was like, it's either going to blow me away or it's going to make me turn it off after like the first 10 minutes of the episode. And I watched both episodes and I thoroughly enjoyed them. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Star Wars project, but it's up there. It's like, and it's in the top 5, even though I think there's only like 6 or 7 shows. So Neil definitely does it for me. Neil's like the best character.
Yeah, he's the new Grogu.
Yeah, Neil's design is definitely going to win a lot of people over, or at least his younger siblings that are actually adorable.
Oh man.
When you said Neil is the new Grogu, I literally thought that when I was watching The Mandalorian today. I thought the same thing. He's the new Grogu.
Oh,
That's the
Neil.
Star Wars trope, right? It's either cute alien species or really cute little droid in every show or movie now. So it's just to be expected, I guess.
Oh man. So we got a couple people here in the chat. We got Mr. Pop the Bounty Collector. What up, Ricky? Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, man. How you doing? Daisy's replying to everybody in the comments. And Mr. Galactic Cantina. Brady Blummer. Hello there. What's up, man? How you doing? But Yeah. So I think we're getting, well, not necessarily, not saying SM-33 is a cute droid, but we got a badass droid, and then we got a cute alien species. So they're kind of knocking it out the park with their little tropes this time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, SM-33 definitely seems to be a potential comedic effect type character, and also probably somebody who's going to be able to explain some things to us about the mystery of that ship in the past, just as a good plot device.
Yeah, man. Friggin'. I can't lie. Episode 2 was a bit of a drag for me more than episode 1 was. And it's even in my watch party. SM-33, when he starts bringing out his shields and all the action, it brought me right back in. And that was like the best part of episode 2.
It reminds me of K2SO.
Yes.
100%.
Or even ND5 from Outlaws.
I haven't
The
played
badass
Outlaws.
droid.
Oh man. All right. So I don't know. Anybody got any theories or anything? Anybody kind of want to take the lead?
I don't.
Well, I guess we're gonna see what Jod is up to, the Jedi.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
And,
because is he just a Force sensitive, right? Well, who knows?
Yeah.
See, I've got an insane crackpot theory that I am going to talk about in Tales from Peridia episode whenever I actually get the time to film it, which will probably be tomorrow. But so I've been reading the Bane books the last like month and a half now, and so
Those are
I'm
good
completely obsessed with Bane. And I know, like in the third book or something, like Darth, Xana, or whatever they call her, like obviously they're gonna challenge each other. They're gonna go head to head and all that. And I think I forgot where I read or where I heard this, but like Bane's like essence or spirit or whatever like enters her body and like lives on through her or something like that. So what if this man has just been soul hopping and now he's Jude Law's character? I don't know. I just want to see Bane in live action somehow.
I mean, that's pretty much
Somehow.
what Darth Vitiate would do. Since before the time of Revan, he would just keep hopping and hopping, eventually through the decades, the generations, into new people, and just call himself a different Sith Lord name. So it's extremely possible, but how creative are they going to get? Who knows? But it'd be a really cool theory.
Somehow
Be a
Bane
Palpatine
returns.
clone.
Oh God!
What up?
Somehow
I
Palpatine
mean, could he
returns.
be a
Oh
clone of
God.
Palpatine?
I
Not
think
saying
we're
I
gonna
want
learn a lot of cool
that
stuff
happen.
about him, though. I think Jude Law said episode 7 is like we learn all about more, or at least so much more about his character in that episode.
Maybe a flashback.
I think so. Someone
Order
did
66.
something like that, because he's either an Order 66 survivor, or he kind of maybe grew up during that time of the Empire, which was at this point 25 years ago, right? So someone did some searching on IMDb, and I'll talk about it in my next video for just a little, but there's someone who's playing, it seems like his mother, same last name, but she has Jedi before her name. So, and who knows, maybe he is the son of a Jedi that maybe survived Order 66, or he was just old enough to kind of be an outcast, almost like in, what was it, Guardians of the Galaxy, with Star-Lord. He pretty much gets raised by pirates. Maybe that's how he ends up being a captain of a pirate ship, but also semi-Force sensitive.
True.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
kind of
theory.
want to go with that he's not actually a Jedi. Kind of like, I mean, in the expanded universe, Aura Seen, she's revealed to be Force sensitive, and she's like a bounty hunter. So I kind of think it'd be a cool direction if that's kind of what they went with, where he's like force sensitive, and because of that, that's how he became like a pirate captain, because he had that cool ability. I feel like it would be too on the nose if he was just, I don't think a Jedi would let themselves get thrown into a prison, especially if he has, I don't know.
Well, Obi-Wan and not Obi-Wan, Anakin had to get captured in the first time we ever meet Hondo in the Clone Wars series. So it's not too far off.
That's true.
Speaking of Hondo.
Because if he was able to use the Force to get that key, why didn't he just escape earlier?
I was about to say, one thing that did really confuse me at the end of episode 2 was we see him in this, I guess, jail cell.
Yeah.
And then, but he just gets the key by using the Force. Well, how did... I thought, well, why didn't he just use the key before?
Or
Why
just
is he
forced
even
to
in
open the lock.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have a way off the ship. Maybe he was waiting for a ship. What if the ship they're on is his ship? I forgot where I saw that from, but I saw that this morning.
But how did his ship get there? And then I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
How did he get in? Yeah, maybe we'll find out.
I think we'll find out soon. Yeah.
It just I don't trust him just because of what we saw at the end of episode 2. Like he just got the key just like that. Why didn't he get the key before and let himself out? I don't know.
I agree. I think he's going to be a scumbag for the first few episodes that he's with the kids, and he's totally going to be deceiving them. Yeah, he probably just didn't have a ship or a way off of that port. So he's like, why am I going to try to escape and just get put back in? And it seems like his Force abilities were a little shaky as well. So he's probably not super strong. And then I got a feeling that being with the kids and being with Wim, who's obsessed with Jedi and thinks he's a Jedi, he's going to probably be like, you know what, I should start acting like a Jedi or at least pretend to be and be a good person. Probably break him down like brick by brick until he becomes a good guy or something.
See,
that's what I was thinking. Like maybe he's gonna try and be really manipulative towards the kids at first, but then maybe towards the end he'll change his mind and want to be a good guy and be the kid's friend.
Yeah, I don't think he want to be a Jedi. I think he hates the Jedi, but he still has Force powers.
Yeah, I would much rather him be just like a random Force sensitive that became a pirate, like Cam said, or maybe he could be like I forgot his name, but from the Kenobi series, the fake Jedi.
Oh yeah.
I am getting so sick and tired of Order 66 survivors. I mean, come on. We went from Yoda and Obi-Wan being the literal only two aside from Luke and Leia to we've had how many now? I don't even think I can count it on one hand.
Now Yoda is like the last Jedi you'll be. Now it's like not impactful at all. Because he's basically, now you're the last Jedi except for this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the last of I don't know, 20 guys or whatever.
Oh, well, I guess they did kind of adapt a little bit of Heir to the Empire because Obi-Wan's Force Ghost comes to talk to Luke for the last time, and Luke's like, I am the last of the Jedi, and he's like, no, you're the last of the old generation, look for the new or whatever. So I guess they kind of I'd still rather it. I'm sick and tired of Order 66 survivors.
I think we got to cut it off here. I think anything more than we have now is going to be, as you guys have been saying, just way too much. Some of the characters we found out that have survived or they've developed that apparently lived through it, right? Like Ray Stevenson's character, Balin, and that was a great addition. Cal Kestis is a great addition. And then Quinlan Voss, kind of a fan favorite. cool that he survived, but there's just no more. We can't do any more. So random force sensitive would be a lot better. Let's stray away from the Empire now at this point. Let's just go completely into the incompetency of the New Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either go way back or way in the future.
I'd rather them go way back. I'm kind of sick of this future. As much as I love Ahsoka and the Mandoverse and all that, I want to go back in time. The Old Republic was a different beast than anything we've actually seen from George Lucas or Disney, and I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, I want something like Lord of the Rings, but in Old Republic.
That would be
yes.
dope.
Yes. I want like
Big
a Game of Thrones style show.
Yeah,
Old
big
Republic.
battles.
Oh,
Except
Now
I
I'm
would
just
prefer
sad
if Kathleen
because-
Kennedy was not in charge of Lucasfilm by the time they decide to do that, because she would probably just wreck it.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't want them to do it right now. Anyway, I would like just like Star Wars nerd, I would love for them to do that. I would prefer that, but I do not trust Lucasfilm, that writers' room, the creatives, anyone there. Not even Dave
Yeah.
Filoni at this point. Don't touch it.
yeah. I like Dave. He's done some great work, but he did sign off on some stuff on the show before this one, so my trust in him has been shaken.
I mean, speaking of the Old Republic, I guess this is where we could start going into some of the theories and what we've been told about At-Aten, right? Because apparently it could be tied to the Old Republic, that it's apparently was the crown jewel of the Old Republic and could have been secluded some centuries ago from the rest of the galaxy. So what do you guys think about it maybe being tied to the Old Republic, maybe as an intro to that era?
Okay, so when they say Old Republic, are they talking like prequel era Old Republic? Like what? I get the like different republics mixed up. So like what is what?
Like the
Like
Republic.
I know Old Republic is like Revan, Malik, Malgus, and all that. Then there's the High Republic with I guess where Venestra is in the story, and that's like the peak of the Jedi. What was the prequel era of the Republic called?
Just called the Republic.
Just Republic.
That's dumb. Okay, or I'm just dumb. One of the two. But if At-Aten is the Old Republic planet, like crown jewel thing, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. I can't lie. Because if that's the Old Republic, I don't know. They seem very advanced, especially to be so cut off from the rest of the galaxy. Considering everybody they talk to is like, yeah, you guys aren't from there. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, the hidden treasure planet. If that's the Old Republic planet, I don't think it would be that advanced.
It gives an Earth-like advanced feel. And my theory on that is because they've been cut off, or maybe arguably you could say 1,000 years, without seeing how the rest of the galaxy has progressed. Like look at Coruscant, for example, a city with flying cars, not cars on rails, with super big skyscrapers, different levels that are just absolutely ridiculous compared to what we see on At-Aten. If At-Aten's been so secluded, and this is where, maybe unfortunately you can relate it to Earth, right? We don't know other planets, species, societies, and we have suburbs because this is just how we've progressed. So maybe At-Aten has progressed kind of on their own because they haven't seen what the rest of the galaxy does, and that's why they have such a safe environment. They're so pretty just community feel of almost Earth because they've also developed on their own for 1,000 years. But the people, at least the kids on the planet, have no idea what's going on. They don't even know what stars look like. So I think that's gonna be the mystery of it too. Is what are the adults or droids on this planet knowing that we don't know as the audience know on why they're so cut off and secluded for whatever reason it may be.
True, I didn't think about it like that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Dang. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe something caused them to like advance like rapidly.
Yeah.
Like they found like a thing that like in Wakanda had the vibranium, and
Yeah.
this planet has something special that advances their technology or something.
Yeah.
And we got the whole
Maybe.
thing with their credits that is apparently extremely valuable, extremely different than anywhere else in the galaxy, right? Do we know if it's Republic era, so before Empire, or do we know if it's the old Republic era credits? That's what we'll have to find out. And listening to some details in that first episode when the teacher, the droid, is talking about the fungibility of different currencies and how the liquidity modeling of how they handle their currencies and the value of their money is different on their planet than to other planets in the Republic. So there's something there that they've really cut themselves off for whatever reason it may be, but just the question is when and why. And then Undersecretary Farah is talking about the helping the Republic, just the word Republic, with the great works, which apparently is from the High Republic era. So it's kind of all up in the air right now. But anyone have any ideas maybe on when that could have been? I think it's between High Republic and Old Republic, like Bane time.
I would hope that it's from Bane's time, just because I'm kind of obsessed with him. I don't know. I was trying to look up pictures of old Republic credits and just Republic credits, but the pirate, he said those are old Republic credits. I'm gonna try to. Dude, they got a picture of the.
Yeah, people online were saying the logo on the credits were from maybe the time of the prequel era Republic, but someone was saying that on the closed captioning subtitles, Old Republic is capitalized like it is for 1,000+ years ago. So I think they're keeping us in the dark on that. But I mean, if they're if they're in mint condition with that metal material, that could be why At-Aten is said to be a crown jewel with endless treasure, because literally their currency is made from this super valuable metal that people don't make the credits out of anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at trying to find a decent picture of the credits. Okay, I guess that's just gonna have to do. Sorry, I'm getting it
What
all
did you
set up
guys
so I can share the screen.
What did you guys think of, while he's pulling that up, just how Wim and it seems that this planet is so knowledgeable of Jedi and of the existence of the Sith?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, if they're so cut off from like the whole rest of the galaxy, how do they even know about this? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it is like the Old Republic crown jewel, they would definitely know about the Sith versus the Jedi, or the Jedi versus the Mandalorian. They would know that. They would definitely know about all that, and maybe that's why they secluded themselves from the rest of the galaxy, because they're like, we done witnessed Revan, we done witnessed Bane. We've lived through Malgus, Malik. We're done. We're done with this. Like, that's it.
That's what I was thinking too, because after the rise of the Empire, Palpatine, he ruined the reputation of the Jedi, where anyone who did know who the Jedi were at that time thought the Jedi were traitors and they were crooks and they deserved to be wiped out. And then he also made sure that all the history and information of the Jedi was completely destroyed, so future generations would never know who the Jedi were or think they were, a group of legend and myth. And even though Luke Skywalker ended up saving the galaxy, the rumors and myth of a Jedi were still very early spreading. We're only 5 years post Return of the Jedi. So the fact that all this information could be on a data pad, even about old Jedi stories and temples, that the one that Wim has, no one else in the galaxy has that data bank of information, right? And let alone how many people knew Palpatine was actually a Sith. I don't think he made that public knowledge at all. And I don't know if Luke and the New Republic made that public knowledge either. So Wim knows about the Sith, the Jedi, and I think it makes sense for it to be, Bane era, Old Republic when they cut themselves off, because that's the only time normal people in the galaxy would know who the Jedi are, who the Sith, and why they're so loved, why the Jedi are so loved.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Might have to go back and look, or maybe even try to pull up the data pad that he's got, because even the like the I guess pictures of the Jedi, they kind of look like the Legends Old Republic covers, like Deceived and Revan and all that. Kind of they looked a little like kind of comic booky, I guess you would say. I don't know.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I got the Revan novel on Audible. I can pull up the cover of that.
Yeah, I got it. I started reading it, but never finished it.
Actually, even like Darth Bane, it's kind of hard to see, but
Oh yeah, with Darth Zana in the front.
like that's what the Jedi pictures reminded me of. Oops, I'm not trying to actually listen to you, but like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what his data pad reminded me of. So maybe he is looking at some Old Republic Jedi. Maybe we'll get a Revan nod.
That would be huge. That would be huge, because we've only had a Revan nod in, I think, the visual dictionary for The Last Jedi or something, where Luke had a kyber crystal around his neck that belonged to Darth Revan, apparently.
I remember seeing something about that.
Yeah, so like a weird nod to the Old Republic and making Revan canon, essentially. But of course, they never elaborated on it. But this is why this show really has drawn me in with the mystery of AT-AT, because I think there's a huge chance we could get maybe a slow intro to the confirmation of the Old Republic era.
That'd be amazing.
Oh. Do they got to do the weekly drops? Can they just drop it all at once so I can binge it?
I wish, dude.
Like
I wish.
Oh,
they want to
man.
keep the subscriptions,
Well, they could
That's
keep
the
their
business
subscriptions. They'd
I just
easily
wish
keep
the episodes could
subscriptions
be
if they
longer.
made good
too,
stuff.
'cause Episode 2, right as I was getting into it, it like ends. I'm like, well, shoot.
Yeah, what is it like? It's like 28 minutes before
Yeah,
the
it was like
is it
not
30
including
something
credits. It was like 20 something minutes. I was like,
Yeah, I want to do something like what the HBO does, like 1 hour episodes.
yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think the first one was filmed all together and they kind of split it up.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. The ending of episode 2 felt like the proper type of ending for a long episode, just the way it left up on that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that. Episode 2 felt where they probably really meant to end it, but they were like, let's cut episode 1 and 2 in half, or 3/4 in a quarter.
Now, do you guys think that would be director Mr. John Watts' decision, or you think that was executives meddling in what they shouldn't meddle in, like always?
Ooh.
I think John Watts. I think at this point, the suits are coming in and they're like, hey, it needs to be this many weeks long, however you want to break it up, right? But also we want to do a 2-episode premiere, maybe, for example. So I think it's a combination of the two, but yeah, it's probably.
Well, he is very known for cutting off people in the last words that they're saying in the Spider-Man movies. So,
Like Sopranos, yeah.
I found something that says episode 3 is 37 minutes.
Come on, make it longer.
And episode 2 was 29.
Dang, so that's like 21 minutes without credits. That's insane.
I don't mean if the credits are included. But...
Yeah. I mean, I don't like the Disney Plus model in general of
there's just no
some of these
consistency.
shows.
Like some episodes are long, some are short. Like they're just all over the place. Like they need
some are good, some are bad.
Consistent runtime.
I think just because they don't run it or usually write them like TV shows. They write them as extended plots of a long movie and try to find parts of the story to cut it off. Where if you're writing it like a show, a 10, 12 episode season length, right? It's the beats are hitting where every episode should feel like a proper ending and probably the finishing of one overall plot device of a story. But they write it like a movie almost.
Yeah, I think that's kind of their issue. I think that with, you want to do shows, that's fine and dandy. Keep it animated. Do like Tales of the Jedi, Clone Wars, Bad Batch. Shoot, even bring back Genndy Tartakovsky's 2D Clone Wars animation.
Yeah,
so good.
I think it's Mortis FM or Beyond the Dune. I forget which one it is. There's multiple people that say it, but they could do Legends or anything like that in this, but in that style. But freaking, if you're gonna do live action, I feel like it would work better as a movie than it would as a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going back to that too. And I've talked about it on the channel, right? Where a lot of the insiders are saying one show a year now, right? They're not going to be pumping out 2 or 3 a year, and they're going to be putting the focus back on the movie side, even though it's still a mess to get things made over there. Happy that Mando is officially done filming for the Mando and Grogu movie. That's all wrapped up. Maybe the 2027 release is still going to be the Dawn of the Jedi, but I think until Kathy gets out of there with the whole Rey movie, the potential Simon Kinberg 10, 11, 12 for the new trilogy, that all tying into Rey, I think everything is taking a step back until that gets sorted, which is a complete mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Visions is taking the spot from a new like Tales series?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's taking the spot from it because they kind of just dropped the trailer and then dropped Tales of the Empire.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past Dave to kind of have either Tales of the Jedi or Season 2 or Tales of the Sith or Tales of this, or he's got something set aside just in case.
Let him cook.
He's got something set aside just in case either this flops or Vision flops, so they can be like, all right, well, I am the saving grace still. I have made a couple shaky decisions, but
like Oprah, everyone gets a series.
Yeah. He can make some bangers, man. He can make some bangers. I think on the very recent, like, quick little interview or something, wherever he was, he said that he's still not done writing season 2 of Ahsoka, but this is where all his energy and focus is going right now, especially as the sole writer. There's no writer's room. So I think that's what he's cooking on right now. Like, he's hoping to have it start filming sometime in maybe quarter 2 of 2025, but I think that's what he's doing. The good thing about Visions is it's all done by these studios in other countries, so it's not as this Lucasfilm as a whole is putting a lot of their efforts into that, I believe, unless I'm totally wrong.
And they go back to Japan only for the third season.
Oh, thank God. That first Vision season, and 90% of them were all bangers. I like season 2, but season 1 I think was more consistent.
I haven't even seen season 2.
I watched like the Ronin episode, and that was it.
Honestly,
Visions is cool.
I mean, the twins episode was pretty good. Yeah, they were like fighting in space.
That was a cool idea. I mean, Star Wars and twins is just, it's for some reason it's like PB and J. That concept just goes together really well. But Vision season 1, my favorite was the one with the old man in the mountain who was actually a Sith. That was probably one of my favorite ones. Yeah, that was sick.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I might have to. What episode was that?
I forget what it's called. Like, you got, you'll find it. You Google it, you'll find it. Don't worry about
it.
You have to watch it tonight.
I might watch it after this stream. That's a lie. I've been watching The Penguin lately, so that's kind of taking up all my free time for TV because I just watched the Batman, and I regret not watching that movie when it first came out. That movie was so good.
I saw it at the premiere weekend. It was so good, but I haven't seen Penguin yet.
Dude,
Penguin's such a good show.
Ooh, you got to watch Penguin, man. It picks up like 2 weeks right after the end of the movie.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. I'm only on episode 3 or 4. I want to say I'm almost done with episode 3, but freaking, oh, dude, since the first scene of that, I know this is a Skeleton Crew stream and a Star Wars channel and stream and all that, but I'm also going to talk about it on Tales because I can't not talk about it because in the first video I ever did with Cam, I've even said it, I think, with multiple different people. Like, I'm not a Batman fan. Well, I wasn't a Batman fan until I saw the recent stuff, and now I'm kind of hooked.
Batman is so cool, man. He's layered. He's tough. He's got so many different aspects of his character and just the villains he has, his rogues gallery. Batman is definitely one of my faves, and the deeper you go into it, there's no turning back.
Yeah, man.
We get more Hamill as the Joker.
Yes, in the animated series, he's a great Joker. Yep, it's so good.
All right,
yeah,
back to what was that?
I was just saying I need to reactivate my HBO account.
Oh, dude. Well, back to Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Do you guys think we're gonna get Mr. Hondo Naka?
I don't know.
I don't think so. If we do, I will actually be surprised. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that I don't know why. I don't think they're going to bring him back. I don't trust in them to do it. It would be perfect, but maybe a reference, though.
Yeah.
You get, like, in Acolyte, we were looking for a Plagueis, and all we got was, like, him sneaking a little bit. And now maybe we see under Naka's shadow or something.
Yeah. Well, do you guys hear so more of these actors who are an acolyte are coming out with just some more tidbits and info, and I think Manny Jacinto is talking about how originally there was going to be 2 more seasons after season 1 from what he was told, and it was going to be a lot involved with Darth Plagueis at that time. So what do you guys think about that? I think we kind of dodged a bullet.
Yeah, isn't like Plagueis supposed to be like kind of young at this time?
He's supposed to be based on the non-canon novel timeline, but they can do whatever they want. But yeah, he should be young. Should really be about Darth Tenebris, to be honest.
Yeah, and maybe like if Kimir is Tenebris or something, because he never said that, like we never knew his like real name. We just he had used Kimir for his like alias.
Yeah, I if they went down that route, I was really then hoping just to salvage anything. It'd be like, okay, make him Darth Venomous, which was Tenebrous' other secret apprentice that tried to kill Plagueis, the one that Plagueis just kept in a bacta tank for decades doing experiments on.
I think that that's where that they would be going. I think see, I'm kind of torn now because I've thought of some pretty good potential season 2s, like especially after seeing that they want to include Plagueis in that. And I've been an advocate for it. So, like, I hate when they change characters, but we've never seen Venomous on screen. Sure, he's a Bith in the book, but my buddy Mark, the Canardian Jedi, he said that, well, if you kind of look at him like in the dark, like they were on Kofar, and he's got the helmet on, if you're not up close to him, you could probably accidentally mistake that as a Bith. But I wouldn't mind them making him Venomous, and season 2 kind of be Plagueis versus Venomous, because they already contradicted the timeline within the first opening shot of the show, because it's supposed to be like 100 years before the Phantom Menace, which would make it 132 BBY, but they said 100 years before the rise of the Empire. So I don't know. They contradicted themselves, and so the timeline is all over the place. But I don't know. I would love to see Plagueis on actually done good. Bring James Luceno in.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
goat. The goat.
Like,
kind of bring the guy who wrote Plagueis to deal with Plagueis.
yeah, like
I'm just saying.
what
It's a good idea.
like what Dave Filoni did with Thrawn and
Yeah.
Oh
this on.
yeah. What do you guys think of how he handled Thrawn though in Ahsoka? I mean, online you see a lot of mixed reviews on. It didn't feel like Thrawn. It could have been better. Like, what were your guys' opinion on how Filoni handled Thrawn in Ahsoka?
So I watched Rebels and Ahsoka before I read Heir to the Empire, so that was kind of like my introduction to Thrawn. I knew
Same.
of Thrawn, like I knew that he was like very smart and that he could basically look at like a speck of dust on somebody's ship and tell the entire like cultural history from like the conception of a planet, which is absolutely insane. But when I read Heir to the Empire, the only thought going through my mind was, okay, they just ripped this dude straight out of the book and threw him on live on the big screen. They threw him in animation. I think they just pretty much ripped him from the book, and he was basically perfectly adapted.
I think he's gonna get his Isalamiri.
Oh yes,
Maybe
I think
like
that'd be really cool.
he gets to fight Ahsoka, but she can't use her powers or something.
He's terrified of her though, for sure.
Yes.
Because he's terrified of Anakin. He knows all about Anakin, and he thought he was done with Skywalkers. Then he leaves her in the dust on Peridia. Then he goes back to the main galaxy. Oh yeah, there's a Luke Skywalker
and a Leia Organa Solo Skywalker thingy, whatever her canonical name is. I probably mixed them all up.
Yeah. She's the only one that has more names than Rey. Jeez.
Maybe there's a Mara Jade walking around.
Maddie. I think Thrawn was good in Ahsoka though overall, but I do hear people when they say, well, he kind of was just getting, I guess, defeated by Ezra and them, or wherever they were, like not too far from the base, and he goes, "Good, that was my plan the whole time."
Yeah, see that was my issue with. I love Thrawn as a character, but they did that all throughout Rebels too, where he would get defeated and he would just always, claim that it was part of his plan or whatever. Like they just kept doing that, and so then it kind of made him not seem like that much of a threat if he's able to just, I don't know. Like, I don't think he's as big a threat as they're cooking him up to be. Like, I don't get Ahsoka's like obsession with like if he's stuck out in some other galaxy, like why is she so worried that he's gonna come back and be this big threat? Like, I think she's kind of overreacting, but I don't know.
Wow.
Well, I mean, remember who her master was.
That's true. That's true. And then she was right, because he did come back. He is back now with three mothers of the Night Sisters, who are probably insanely powerful, going to be back on, in the main galaxy. But yeah, I think Rebels could have done a little better job making him a little bit more of a threat, but I know, I get it, it's animated, but in the books, so Heir to the Empire, he's definitely the smartest guy in the room. By far.
It's. I hope we get to see like those undead Night Sisters we saw in Fallen Order on Dathomir.
Ooh, that would be so cool. Yeah, well, I want more Night Sisters for sure. Night Sisters, because you could really utilize them in a big way now that Thrawn's back and they have all the mothers. It could be a really good battle or a really good opponent to have that's a threat.
Yeah, I hated those in the game.
Oh my god, it was so hard. It's come out of nowhere.
Even harder than the big bosses.
I agree. Just way too many. Just coming out at you. That Dathomir was. I hated that planet. Oh my god.
So I will say, Mr. Cam, the movie man, since kind of going on. You not liking how when Thrawn gets defeated and he's like, yeah, that's kind of part of my plan. It kind of reminds me of in Return of the Jedi when Vader walks up to Palpatine and he's like, hey, so the rebels have entered Endor and they're about to take down the shield generator. Yes, I know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So anything else? Anybody want to talk about with Skeleton Crew or Star Wars or anything like that?
What's everyone's favorite character in the show so far?
Neil.
Neil.
I like
SM33 by far.
Sorry.
He's just a bad egg.
I like that little monkey thing from the Endor series, older Endor series.
I'm really impressed by the mean girl. Her. I don't know her name. Yeah. She scares me.
That's my favorite character too, actually. Burn's definitely my favorite. They described her as like a Leia vibe, right? Just kind of a Leia characteristics, and she totally has that. I love how she just bosses around women, all of them, and she's honestly a badass. So she's been my favorite so far.
She's the serious one in the group.
Yeah, she's got it going on, and they're at that age where the girls are just more mature than the two boys, and she's definitely going to be leading them down, and trying to make sure they don't die. Wim, I like him, but he's been pissing me off. I'm like, dude, don't mess with everything.
That's what I thought too.
Daisy, you would be Wim in this situation. You would be the Wim of the group.
No, you would be pressing all the buttons, and I would be the one telling you to back off. You would be touching shit.
Maybe just a little. As long as it's not a big red button, that's my weakness.
Or a big green button that starts the whole damn shit.
Who's not going to push a glowing green button on a spaceship?
Not me, not on a ship like that. Hell
Daisy,
no.
Daisy, everybody always says don't push the red button. So if it's green, it's got to mean that it's good.
No.
But then he lies about it too. He's like, I swear I didn't hit anything. It's like, shut up, dude. We all know.
Every time you push something, oh, it wasn't me. Then who pushed the damn buttons? Literally, you're the only one in this room.
He's got to figure it out, man. You know, I love that he loves the Jedi, and I get it. His home life kind of sucks. His dad's not around. Clearly, his mom's gone, which is sad. And doesn't really get all the love and attention as compared to Neil's family, which is so nice and beautiful.
But when they're watching the holiday special holographic circus.
Super cool deep cut too, which I was worried about going into this show. I was like, are they just gonna like reference things or pull details out? And they don't really have the meaning and the backstory for it, like with KB's look being inspired by Lobo. You know, it's like Lobo's backstory is tragic. That's why he looks like that. You know, like let's make sure that we understand like what we're referencing. But so far, they've done some pretty good references in the first 2 episodes that makes me think they actually care and know what they're doing about.
Yeah, she's like the from Bad Batch at the tech, and she's like the techie part of the group.
Yeah, she's like a combination of Tech and Echo.
Yeah.
What did you think about like the opening of the first episode kind of being a parallel of like the opening of A New Hope?
I love stuff like that.
I loved it. Right away I was like the planet before the ship came in. I was like, the planet looks like it's from the OT, like the way that they did their practical special effects. And then the ship came in, and you definitely could have believed that was a miniature model for sure. So,
oh yeah,
really good job.
A classic Star Wars intro with the space and the ship going past.
Yeah,
very
that whole
classic.
sequence was great.
I like the opening sequence a lot. That was very OT vibes for me. And then one thing I noticed too is when they're getting off of the school bus for the first time and they're walking through, I guess, the courtyard to get into the school, and we see KB and Fern talking to the droid because they're probably getting in trouble for having a speeder bike. Something about the wideness of the shot, kind of the color grading of the scene and the special effects they were using for everything around them, that gave me honestly some pretty good prequel trilogy camera work vibes and special effects, especially from parts of Revenge of the Sith before it all goes wrong, where I don't know, that for me stylistically felt like prequel era Star Wars too, where some original trilogy prequel era together.
I like the Andor callback as well when he was like speeding through the forest.
Oh, that was cool. And then a direct planet name from Aldani, which SM33 calls like a bog world. Just like the crappy world or something. And then one of the planets that he named too was the planet that the Bendu was on from Rebels. One of those planets, he said. So they're definitely doing some deep cuts for sure.
And Dave Filoni is cooking.
I mean, if was Dave involved in this show? I mean, I know
he's an executive producer.
I think it's the first like Dave produced thing, like first thing.
Hell yeah.
Him and John are both executive producers. Like they were on the same title, same credit page.
Favreau.
Yeah, Brick Creations and Collectibles in the building.
Hello.
Not much. Just discussing some Skeleton Crew and Star Wars. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to episode 3. I think it's just pretty much going to be like a fun turn your brain off kids show that adults can enjoy. I don't think that it's going to get too heavily involved in lore or anything like that.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Hey, it's nice to get excited for Star Wars again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've said this before on a couple other shows I've been on, but it's nice to see like fun and humor brought back to Star Wars. Because I mean, the past couple things, the Acolyte, Andor, even for the most part, the sequel trilogy have just been, they take themselves too seriously.
I agree.
I didn't like Andor and Acolyte. I didn't laugh once at anything. And so, and I feel like humor is just such an important part of Star Wars. It's what made like the original movie so much fun. You know, the banter between Han Solo and Princess Leia when they're escaping the Death Star. You know, you came in that thing. Either I'm going to kill her or I'm beginning to, you know, like humor is just such an important part of Star Wars, I feel like. So it's nice to see that back in like a live action Star Wars thing, you know, not including like the Lego stuff, because those will always be fun.
That's the best.
Like,
Completely agree.
That's what I like most about this show, is that it's just fun and humorous again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's making me laugh for sure. And like, if Acolyte tried to have anything that was a little funny about it, it missed the mark, obviously. Andor was serious, so you know, I think it did what it was supposed to do for that vibe. But and then you get the sequels, and some of the humor they try to do is so forced. Like, remember They Fly Now?
They fly now.
Hey,
Oh,
kids.
God.
That part bugged me so much. Like, it just
And
wasn't
of
even
course they
funny.
flew.
It was just stupid.
Yeah. And they've flown before this. We've actually seen them fly before
Like,
this. It's
you've never
not
seen
Clone troopers were flying in the Clone Wars. Come on now.
Oh my God. Even
Yeah.
Mandalorians have been flying for thousands of years. It's ridiculous. And then yeah, the OT has that, and even the prequels, because prequels obviously are the most memeable trilogy of all time. But even in the OT, just the way Luke talks and the absurdity of it, and just like it's just that's where the comedy comes from. It's such a unique Star Wars comedy style. And yeah, this show definitely kind of has that vibe. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, speaking of power converters, they was looking for like a power converter in the first episode, I think.
Oh yes, yeah. No, that was another
Maybe
good deep
second.
cut.
You just gotta go to
Oh
Tashi
my
Station
God.
and they'll find him.
You okay
Sorry
there,
to
Daisy?
interrupt you. I am so sorry. Kenrick, look in the chat. Look, pull up that comment.
Get out.
Get out.
out.
Go.
I don't know what you're doing on here, then go watch it.
Well, there's probably a reason why they hopped in like pretty much like the very end.
He's busy.
We're all hyping it up.
Oh man, yeah, you need to hop off of here, go watch the first 2 episodes, and then come and watch the replay.
How long do you think it's going to take them to get off of the the pirate port in the episode tomorrow? If it's not that long of an episode, I really hope it's not
Yeah,
all
they're
about
gonna
them
get
just
off pretty
escaping.
quickly, I think.
I hope they get off quick. I don't like when, I mean, Andor kind of, one of the things that bugged me about Andor is they really took their time. Like, they just dragged things out way too much.
Dude, that's
I don't
why I'm
like
still
that.
on episode 6.
Like, yeah, if it takes them half the season just to get off that pirate base,
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
a
I wanna see
problem
them.
for sure.
I want to see
But
them move on.
I feel like there's so much that they could get into and just kind of explore,
Yeah.
you know? Like, even if they don't necessarily get off like the port and like into a ship and traveling through the galaxy. I feel like even if they spent like one more episode there, I'd be fine with it. But if they're going into episode 4 and they're still kind of, you know, in the same spot, I'm gonna be like, all right, y'all need to get a move on.
I said this to Star Wars Gazer, but the spaceport kind of reminded me of Nowhere in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's what I felt too. It gave me that vibe
But
for
like
sure.
like a big
I love the whole look of
marketplace
that
and stuff.
base, planet, asteroid, whatever the heck it is. It looked cool. Just the
No, that was
dingy,
cool.
dark colors, the atmosphere.
Scum and villainy.
It's cool that the pirate ship didn't set off any of the cannons. It had the coordinates for the pirate port. So I'm interested to learn more about who the captain was of that old ship, how they're so tied into this. I mean, if it's a few 100 years old at least, then there's got to be a story there. But do you think that for the rest of the season until the end, we're just gonna find out more secrets about Ad-Atten as they travel the galaxy, or what do you guys think is going to be each episode's kind of goal?
I think we're gonna find out that Atten isn't the special perfect place that everybody living there thinks that it is. I think there's gonna probably be some dark secret history about it.
I was
Like the Truman
literally
Show.
about to say, I think that there's something that all of the adults know that we don't and the kids don't know. You know what I mean? I kind of got that vibe.
Absolutely.
There's just like I didn't start to think that until we got that girl's mom. Is she the principal of that school? When she came into the classroom.
Oh,
And
the
I just
undersecretary thing?
Yeah, she's like some
heard-
government official. Yeah.
It was like I just got this vibe like there is something real deep going on here. Like there's got to be this big secret. Like even Wynn's
Yeah.
dad, I feel like he's in on it too. Like
They're
there's
so
some
obsessed with work. They're always
and
like, we're so busy, we're so
Yeah, she
busy.
mentions like the great work, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And it's
Hopefully
for the
you find out.
Republic, but there's no starships on the planet. No one's coming in or out of the planet ever.
Yeah, because they
Right.
got that barrier, and it's like a what did they say? It was like a direct violation or something like that, or protocol violation, or it was some sort of
It's-
violation if you leave the barrier.
Yeah.
It's
and there's no
like
ships. Mhm.
it's like the hex from WandaVision. Like everyone is trapped in one place.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
the droids do everything, which is weird. And clearly, people in the galaxy think their planet is a myth. So there's something they're lying to their kids about,
Weird.
at least helping the Republic, because they're definitely not, because no one knows that they even exist. So I wonder if every episode we find out more what the rumors of Atten are, and then they show back up to the planet, and they're like, "All right, guys, what the hell's up? We know everything."
Yeah.
I definitely think we'll get clues and hints throughout. It's definitely a big mystery.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the fun thing about it. We don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, I know I'm excited. But is there anything else anybody wants to talk about?
I don't know.
I think I pretty much hit all.
I think
that
we
wanted to
covered
talk
everything.
about.
Yeah, got out of my system.
Well, thank you guys for hopping on the stream and being available. I was hoping we were going to have a couple more people probably pop up through, like, like for like a minute or two. But this was kind of last minute, and I didn't really have anything set up for this until like an hour beforehand. But again, thank you guys for being available and joining me and Mr. OuterRim Transmission on this live stream talking about it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir. Let's see here 1 second. Brick Creations and Collectibles. And Snore, you mean? And Boar?
Season two is gonna be good. Just watch.
I hope so, because K2SO and Director Krennic were the only two characters that I like from Rogue One. So
Damn.
y'all, no man, you're awesome, and keep it up with the advent calendars.
You are breathtaking.
But thank you guys for watching this stream. Go check out all these people. Their links will all be in the description eventually when I edit the description. But you guys can pretty much find them all on Instagram or YouTube, or just type in the names you see on screen in a web browser, and I'm sure something will pop up. But thank you guys, and may the Force be with you always. Peace.
Peace.
See ya.
No. The Force is my ally. That's all I need.